What's going on, everybody? Toby1 Shinobi here, and today we are doing a learn from my mistakes video. So we're going to take a stream that I played ranked solos in. We're going to take all my deaths, and then we're going to analyze them, figure out what went wrong, and figure out how I can improve on that in the future. Now, this is a really important thing to do. It's called VOD reviewing. So you definitely want to VOD review your own gameplay to learn as much as possible, because you can learn a ton about your tendencies and things that you just don't see happening in the moment, and then you kind of like move on past them. But when you go back and you watch, you really start to see some patterns, and then you can also see some solutions to the issues you're having. So I highly recommend reviewing your own mistakes, even stuff that's not your mistakes. Just watch fights play out, see if there's things that you could have been doing better. It truly is the fastest way to learn. All right, so let's get into the gameplay. Here we go. This is our first clip. And we pull up on a guy that looks like he's trying to figure out where somebody is. And apologies, because this is all stream footage, so the quality isn't going to be that great. But it should be usable. So this guy was definitely looking for someone. I see footsteps, staying high ground, this is fine. And we're just looking around. We don't want to go inside buildings. One rule that I've pretty much made for myself is do not go inside of buildings in ranked solos, because there's pretty much always somebody hiding there. You might think, oh, coast is clear, I think it looks safe. It's probably not. There's usually one person hiding in every single building you come across in ranked. Sometimes they don't even attack you, and you think that the building's safe. You walk through it, you loot. They're probably still in there. They're just trying to survive. So here I am. I'm trying to get all the windows of this building open, trying to move quick so they can't get an angle on me. Going high, low, I'm listening. I'm hearing something over here. So I take a look from height. Please stop climbing things, Fortnite. Opening up walls, looking for angles. So this is all fine. This is good. This is good. I think how I'm playing this right now, I'm pretty happy with. You know, not going in the building is something that I had to VOD review. This is where I learned this, actually, is by looking at previous mistakes of videos and realizing that I was going into a lot of buildings, and like half my deaths in ranked mid-game were just me entering a building and figuring out that somebody shot me in the back or was there, right? So one of the best ways to clear out buildings is to use shockwaves, break through the walls, and try to catch them off guard. So it looks like first floor is clear. And at this point, they must be upstairs. Now, I gotta say, this altogether is probably a bad idea. Like, if I'm trying to get better rank and I'm trying to survive, I really shouldn't be trying to dig a rat out of its nest, especially when there's probably two of them, because I saw this guy on the roof looking for somebody earlier. So there's probably two people hiding right now, and if I attack someone, then I'm going to get attacked by the second person, which means I'm basically just going to get third partied. So I gotta be really careful, and honestly, I probably shouldn't even be doing this. And there we go, we find him, he's in the corner. And we hit each other for about 100 each. And we hit him for 80, and there we go. There's the second pair of footsteps, and now this is a good play by me as well, is just get out of here. I'm happy with this. We don't go down there, we don't take the fight, we just get out. And I'm struggling to get through walls. Now, this right here is also something I'm seeing. I've kind of quickly reviewed the deaths in this, and you will notice that this right here is a recurring thing happening. I keep using nitro, and when I use nitro, it doesn't allow you to just like hop through walls, and it doesn't allow you to move through walls cleanly, because if you tap anything, it blows up and bounces you off the wall. So this is something I'm going to change in my game. So anytime I'm on nitro, I'm going to be more cognizant and try to make my movement a little more cleaner, not run into edges, and preferably not even sprint when I'm trying to get through windows and stuff. So here we go. We found the third player, the second player here. We hit him for 100, and here's where I make the mistake. Do you see what I did there? So a smart player, a patient player, now notice all of this right here that I've done is pretty impatient all around. You know, these guys are both sitting there in the corners and they're just like sitting there waiting for me to show up, and they're going to shoot me in the back if they find me. If I run across the screen, they're going to shoot me in the back. And it's not going to be good either way because there's two of them, right? So I'm probably going to lose if I get involved. I actually kind of got lucky that I fought the first guy and didn't get third party by the third or the second guy. But right here, I'm being very impatient. I hit this player for 100. And I think that I thought during the moment that this shot right here landed, which is probably why I pushed, but that doesn't even really matter because to reload this shotgun takes about 1 second, maybe 1.5 seconds. This player's hurt. I'm fairly hurt. The best thing I could do right now is really just reload the shotgun and then go into the fight with a pretty good advantage, right? We've done some damage to them. They've done some damage to us, but we could probably win this fight if we had a reloaded shotgun. Instead, we rush, we push the fight, you know, we're really just being super aggressive. We get some bad bloom here on our AR. Those bullets somehow go through her. And then we hit her for 84 with our AR, and she has 12 HP. If we would have reloaded her weapon, reload the shotgun, we shoot her twice with the shotgun, and she dies. Very easy. Instead, we lose because we were impatient. So yeah, that's going to be a recurring theme that we'll see here, and it's something that I'm just going to have to improve on by reviewing this and really getting it through my thick skull to slow down in the fight. Don't always be super aggressive. A lot of times it is good to be aggressive if you can keep on the player, you're not hurt, and you keep on them, right? But if you give them space, sometimes it's good to slow down. Don't walk into traps. Okay. So here we go. I know the players on the roof. They hit me pretty good here. 100 damage. And I've hit them pretty hard too. 81 right there, followed by another like 50. So, you know, we got 130 off them. We're winning this fight right now. Okay, we notice we don't reload right there. Do 14 damage. Not reloading again when I could have just been reloading in the air. So this is a problem, right? This is why I'm saying we got a VOD review, because clearly I don't reload very well during combat, during actual active combat. I'm a crazy nut about reloading my guns before a fight and after a fight, but during combat, we got to be reloading our guns more because we're putting ourselves at a massive disadvantage in fights. Okay, and here we go again with Nitro, blowing up our cover. So got to be really careful about using Nitro as well. I slid in right here thinking we could get a right shoulder peek on this door. Accidentally blew the door up, and now I freak out. I miss a couple shots. And there we go. We lose the fight. Why did we lose the fight? Once again, impatience, not reloading, you know, rushing in here. Like, this was an accident, sliding into this door. I didn't mean to blow this up. I was definitely going for right shoulder. But even then, I should have taken this fight a little slower. I'm winning the fight right now. There's no need to just run into a building and get into a structure fight where I don't know where the guy is. Also, I saw footsteps here. Two things actually confused me right here is that I saw footsteps right in front of me, and so I thought he must have ran up the stairs, to be honest. So I was like all gung-ho in here. I was like, oh, okay, he's upstairs, but turns out he wasn't. So again, impatient, reload your weapon before getting into the second phase of the fight. It's okay to slow down a little bit during fights. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and speed run through some clips here at 3x speed, just to kind of show you something that's also recurring in my gameplay that I need to fix. So we land on the drop, right? We get a couple items, we see a guy up here, we immediately push him, we get third partied, shot by both of them, and we fall to our death because we're too hurt. Impatient on the drop, not getting shields on the drop, pushing the first enemy we see right off drop with no health. Okay. What happens here? We drink 50 shields. We're feeling good. Immediately get in a fight off the drop. Do 144 damage. Let's actually slow this one down. This is a good one to learn from for myself. Okay, we have good health. We don't have a shotgun here. And this is inside a building again. So you really don't want to be entering inside buildings, because this player has a shotgun. He just hit me with a shotgun twice. Don't really have an advantage in this fight except for a little bit of health, which he quickly deletes with 2 shots, 2 good shots from a shotgun. And what do we do again? It's crazy because when I'm in the moment, when I'm doing these things, it just feels like I'm getting unlucky. And I'm sure it feels like that for you too, right? And this is why it's super important to VOD review, because you don't feel it, you don't see it in the moment, you don't connect all the dots. What I'm doing right now is rushing people into buildings when I'm really not at that much of a health advantage and just taking a 50-50 fight. Like, I'm just pushing every single engagement and rolling the dice, and my aim is okay, but it's not winning me fights here. Like, I am missing some shots, but it's not my aim, which a lot of people, if they experience this, would say, oh, I just missed a couple of shots there. No, it's not. That's not the issue. The issue is you were taking a fight against a guy who had a shotgun. He's inside. He has a shotgun, and you're running in there with 49 HP. You've got a mini in your inventory. Go ahead and hit that mini. Maybe open up the floor right here. Just take a breather, man. Instead, we jump right in. And one thing I want to note here for myself is that I'm actually pushing all these fights here because I'm frustrated, right? Like, I just want to get into some action and kill someone. But I will say for myself that the more frustrated you get, you probably want to slow down your game. Drop like slow. Just drop in like a quiet place, loot up, take a breather, so that you don't have to feel like you need to push every single engagement and die off drop, because you will do dumb things. You just want to kill, and you're going to do something dumb. Here we are again, off our drop again. This guy goes into a building, and what do? Push him immediately. Why not, right? We assume he doesn't have any weapons. Oh, he has 2 bubbles, and he has a weapon. Look at that. I didn't think he had a gun. Fast forward. Yeah, I said that. I don't think he had a gun. Of course he has a gun. You just got to assume everybody has guns on their drop. And then we die. Please sprint. Running out of sprint. So again, that's entirely my fault. Right off the drop, taking the first fight. Here we go again. I saw this guy landing on an EMP right here and a white Harbinger. EMP and a Harbinger. And I land here and I grab this chest. I drop. He tries to EMP me, which I figured was coming. Grab a shotgun. Now keep in mind, I still don't have shields here. Looking for a right shoulder peek to try to get on him when he drops. He comes down here, and I'm thinking this is mine. I miss a shot, and we die. Now I deal 185 damage. Apparently, this guy hits some heals right here because he came down with some shields in him. So he got to, 150 shields, I think, because, yeah, he still has 15 HP. So he got to 200 health without me knowing. He must have hit some minis on the way in, but definitely surprised me. But the moral of the story here is, again, you're just pushing fights that you really shouldn't. You don't have shields yet, so get shields, get a decent loadout, get some shields, and take the fight. Just don't take dumb fights without health. This guy beats you because he's got a health advantage. This is entirely on me. Shouldn't have taken this fight. Just keep running, He drops in my head. Just go around a different corner. You don't have to take this fight. Just go find some shields. If he wants to walk into a certain death situation, let him. But right here, this isn't good for you. This is a 50-50 at this point. There's no right shoulder. There's no cover advantage. We're just 50-50. And turns out he had health, which happens a lot. All right, so here's an end game. And we just popped off. We're feeling good. We were like kind of slaying out for a second. Things are a little chaotic. This player has the Megalodon medallion. It's being very hard to hit. Okay, and we kill him. And we weren't really paying attention to how many players are left. Now there's just a 1v1 right here. Now, we go to loot. Now, in all honesty, this is a bad move. if you're in a 1v1 situation, don't go for the loot because you're going to get third party doing it. A better move is after I kill this guy, immediately ignore the loot and immediately go to cover. Just find some cover and look around before looting. This is a mistake that I myself make a lot, and a lot of other people make, is after a fight, don't immediately go on the loot if it's out in the open like this. Get to cover first, take a look around, and see what's going on. Because we kind of just lost the fight here by using all... We freaked out, right? We had a little mini freak out. We get shot in the back, and we start freaking out, and we burn all of our dashes. Okay, and we only have 2 fists left, and we're fully unloaded with all our weapons. And this is why it was a really bad move to go out there and loot right away. I should have reloaded my weapons, just get behind cover, reload my weapons, figure out where the people are, figure out how many people are left. If I knew this was a 1v1, you know, things would have been very different. So I go for this tree, and I think that I'm safe looking at the mini-map. Turns out I'm not. And I'm trying to break line of sight because this guy's got, you know, a head glitch on me. He could definitely kill me right now. So I'm trying to just, like, get some flowberry and make this 1 or 2 fists work, but it was my last, so I don't have 2. It's just 1, and now I'm stuck down below him, and I die. A lot of people will chalk this death up to unfortunate circumstance. Really, it was my fault, and it all started right here when I looted this guy's body right after killing him. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Take a second. You're not, you know, no one's going to swoop in here and steal the loot. That's something I need to remind myself. The best move I could have made right here as soon as I got shot, even before I got shot, is to turn right and go to this right here. See these little spikes? You can actually sit in the water and pretty much have your head like only popping out, and you can shoot people from these little areas right here. Use this as a piece of cover, as a head glitch. You know, check out the scene, look around before you go loot, get reloaded, all that. So this is where I made the mistake. Even after I got shot right here, this is the spot I should have stopped at. Turn around and then try to lay some fire on the guy chasing me, but instead I just give him my back forever, and I use all of my mobility trying to get distance from him while he just peppers me. And I get the feeling this player is not very good, and I probably could have beat him if I would have just fought. But turns out the entire time I just run around and get shot in the back for free. Like, yeah, so that's something to learn right there. Take a second to look around, reload all your weapons, don't go too fast. Here we are again on a drop. And I didn't think this guy was going to drop right next to me. Surprises me, and I run into him. Then I land on his head, and I can't get down. And we embarrassingly lose to a DMR in a point-blank fight. All of this is really embarrassing for me, by the way. Like, this is a terrible feeling video, not something I want to do, but I think it's going to provide a lot of value because, you know, I'm just going to learn from it. I'm throwing out the ego. I don't really care what you guys think. I think a lot of you guys are going to learn from this, going to learn how to VOD review, and you're going to see, like, oh, look, a good player is actually making a ton of mistakes and doesn't realize it. And he doesn't realize it until he goes back in the VOD reviews and can learn from his mistakes. So actually it was a enforcer that killed me, which is pretty good at hip fire. But even then, like this right here is just me rushing things. I thought that I could get height on this player down below me. Turns out they just dropped right at this building, which is a pretty, you know, crazy move. But it all comes down to me trying to move too fast, not getting shields, not really taking a second to look around. I'm just sprinting, going. And it, you know, it's so obvious to me now that I've reviewed these last 5 or 6 deaths that are all off the drop, like immediately off the drop deaths. And, you know, very obvious now, not so obvious in the moment. I just couldn't connect the dots. Now right here, I had sprayed this bush pretty darn well too. This actually is surprising to me that this guy's in this bush. Because I caught it and I'm like, okay, so that bush is clear. Jeez. And he actually jump scares me, hits me for 100 in the air. and I get frustrated because I thought I checked it well enough. Never trust bushes. There's 4 players alive right here. I've got the shield medallion, so I'm pretty chill. And I kind of reset my mind there. I'm like, okay, no harm done. Just lost a shockwave. That's really it. We're still okay. This player is above me on bridge. And I jump up here, which is a pretty sketchy move. But the circle is getting small. And I knew there was 4 players. Now, what I missed here is that another player just died, and now there's 3 players. And if I would have taken a second to recheck the map, then I would not have done this. Well, at least I wouldn't have done it in the way that I do it right now. I would have much rather figured out, like, got on top of this roof and not chase this guy down if I knew there was only one other player, because this right here is all time that I could be shooting the other player. And now, you know, we're in a pickle. I took some damage off of this drop right here. You know, I'm only 44 green, and now we're in storm. And look what I missed right here is a med station. So this is something that I need to get better at. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. So this is important. When you're VOD reviewing and there's something that comes up like, I need to know about this thing. Well, just do it, man. Just go and find out about that thing, because there's a site called Fortnite.gg, which will tell you where all of the health machines are. So I wasn't fully aware that these mending machines are in the same place every time. If they're gold, they're in the same place every time. I was not aware of that. So if you see anything in gold on Fortnite.gg, it means it's consistently there 100% every time. So what that means is you turn on these named locations, and you know that you've always got a mending machine in Snooty. You've always got a mending machine over here at this little railway station. So these 2 railway stations over here have one. And Reckless Railways always has one over here. This one is not always guaranteed. Okay, so, but still, I could have checked the mini-map before I went up there and kind of thought that through. Just knowing these locations of where they could be is really helpful. And let's make sure we know where all the guaranteed ones are really quick. Okay, so Underworld, this one always has one. Okay, so all the railway stations maybe. Yeah, look what we learned from VOD reviewing. We've already gotten some good information. All the railway stations have guaranteed health machines. That's an easy way to remember it. Great, we've learned something. Okay, cool. So in the future, I'll be a little more aware about where these things could be. Pretty much gas stations, you know, it's possible for them to have them. And then the railway stations are guaranteed to have them, to my understanding. If you were to follow all these train tracks, go to every single one of these train stations, you'll find out that they all have a guaranteed mending machine. Learn something new every day. So if you take the time, you will learn something new like this. Okay, so back to the game. We should have seen this mending machine right in front of our face, because right now we are in a 10 tick, and all I can think about is getting out of this. But I could just buy heals. You know, I had like 3 seconds to buy heals right there and go into this fight with very, very good odds, much better health. But instead, we go into this fight with 145 HP. So, not looking good. And we know that. This guy pushes us, and I didn't realize it was the last player. I may have realized it was the last player at this point. What I was trying to do is get behind this tree, get some space, get behind this tree, land right here, and get into a right shoulder, and I messed it up. And I went way too far, and that took away all chance I had at lighting this guy up as he came in. So now I just want to get space, because I know the health advantage is too severe. So I'm trying to create space. I don't have any fist charges left, and we whiff a couple shots and just, you know, game over. But this all started from making the mistake of getting into this fight without realizing that there's only 3 players left. So in the end game, I need to be more cognizant. I need to be looking at the map more often, because if I look at this mini map right now and see how many players there are and look at my health and look at the vending machine, game over, we win, right? We kill this guy, right? And then we run in there and we get some health, and then we're in a one-on-one fight with equal health. But instead, we kind of rushed it. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip through this one. This is, again, another on-drop death. So I'm learning that like pretty much 75% of my deaths are on my drop. Probably pretty standard for a lot of people in ranked solos. It is hard, you know, when you're trying to get these medallions, or you drop at like fairly odd places, or just any place at all. People will pretty much con you right on your spawn or right on your drop, and you'll get in fights. But really what I need to do is prioritize getting health. Because if you get involved and you start fighting people, you know, it usually doesn't turn out well. There's usually more than one player. You know, you kill one like this and pop some minis, and I'm making too much noise doing it. I'm running around. This zip comes up. Somebody just came up the zip. Just gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, you know. And the mistake I make here is not sitting on this level of the platform. Notice I'm like down the stairs right here. I thought he was coming up above. So that's why I'm sitting right here. I probably should have been sitting right in the mid, so that if this guy comes around this corner, which he just comes flying through, he knew exactly where I was at, surprisingly. Just right on me. And here we go again.
No, brother, why are we not?
So what we're learning is anytime you're on Nitro, what have we learned? You got to be very careful about touching anything. We touch a lip right here. We brush our shoulder against this and we run into it. You cannot touch anything when you're on Nitro. You start doing that knockback effect, and it'll get you killed. This would have been a clean getaway probably. If I didn't hit that, we would have been okay. We could have got some space. We could have, you know, figured something out. But we died because we run into that, and also because we weren't very good about getting shields on our drop and just rushing fights. Gotta get health on the drop. Just try to get looted on your drop in ranked. Don't play it like pubs. In pubs, I'd push people and the stuff works out. In ranked, people don't miss. So... okay, right on the drop. That one is, yeah. Quite unlucky, to be honest. Not much I can do here except for probably not land near this player. Because it was just me and him at Grim Gate. I remember this. And, yeah, he dashed right through that window to my right. Came right through it with an SMG and just sprayed me in the back. Landed right on my back, literally. So probably should have just not dropped near them and kept moving. Okay, so here we are on this one.
Fairly confused on that one.
This guy's hit me some pretty decent shots. He's coming over to push. Hitting nice shots from distance. Okay, we hit some nice tags back. And you know what we do. We just push right into it. Push right in. Now, once again... okay, so he hits us with another nice tag right with the right shoulder peak. This guy's a good player. And takes us by surprise. I thought I could slam the ground and hit them right here. Couldn't. And then he closes the door on me. Very good move. And now I'm thinking, okay, I'm 76 HP. I kind of need to slow down. He's healing. I'm trying to keep him from healing. I want to put some pressure on him. Now this right here, I have no explanation for, but it's something that I'm learning about, is if you touch a door or an object with Nitro, once again, be very careful when you're on Nitro. I'm starting to actually dislike Nitro now that I'm watching it, because so many of my deaths are being caused by me doing dumb things like this. It blows up this wall, which Nitro is not supposed to do that much damage to structures anymore. I don't know how this happened, but it blew up an entire wall that was adjacent to this door, and now I have no cover, and I didn't really realize that, and I kind of freak out. So, yeah, moral of the story is just be more careful when you're on Nitro around any walls, any structures. Don't be moving like a crackhead, because it's going to get you killed. Also, this little lamp right here, I jumped into it and hit my head there. Didn't realize that. And yeah, looked like a fool. So that guy beats me with 45 HP because, you know, I just Got to learn to be more gentle on nitro. Probably don't even use nitro inside of buildings and structures when you're trying to get through them, because anytime you brush your shoulder on anything, it's going to get you killed. All right, so here's one. I got this guy low. We're just chasing him down. We kill him, and what do? We loot again. We start looking at our loot. Oh, look at this loot. We're gonna grab these, blah, blah, blah. We didn't look around, and now there's a guy on us. Hits us for solid 70 damage. And now we're in a sweat fight. We've now taken a massive amount of damage. Down in the fight pretty bad. Trying to get some distance. But he's playing it well. Hits me again. We go into this tree. And we rush it. I thought that I could catch him off guard. I thought he would stop shooting. And we rush it. So, again, patience is huge. If I took a second and just stood here and used my third person camera to peek this guy without actually taking shots, I probably could have turned this fight around, because he'd be stuck on a reload on that roof. I could put some heavy damage out when he's reloading, or when he's like, jumping off the roof or going for fists. That's when I should shoot. Right here, I rushed it, and I just got too aggressive and started firing back when I thought he'd be reloading, but there's a large clip on that mythic AR. So that right there's two things I need to learn. One, don't loot right away. As soon as you kill someone, just step away. Like, your loot, I have decent loot already. I don't need the loot. Like, I have usable loot. It's more important to not die. Take some shots, kill this guy, go over to the right here. Get out of the water. You don't want to be in the water. You're in a very vulnerable spot. You're like slow motion swimming. Just get over here. Or take that nitro and then loot. But like, be hard to move. Right now you're very easy, and you pay the price for it. Now we switched out our fists right there. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you drop your fists out of your inventory and then pick up your enemy's fists, you'll have a fresh charges on your fists. But you have to drop them out of your inventory first. You can't just trade them. But ultimately, that pretty much gets me killed, because this guy gets on my head too quick, and we didn't look at our surroundings. Okay, so here's another one where this guy's being chased from someone. And here's the mistake I made. Now, I remember this because I thought that I had another dash. Turns out I didn't, because I dashed off the roof right here. Instead of sprint dashing, I used 2 dashes in the air right here and a third dash to get in on this player. And then I don't touch water. And what do? We go look through the loot. Even though we know a player is nearby, we start looking through the loot, seeing what's there for us when we don't have any dashes and we know a player is coming. And I thought that I had another dash, but I didn't, and I paid the price. So we're dead. Because what do? We killed someone and then we started looting. So before you loot, you need to kill the person, you look at your surroundings, you think about the right thing to do before you start looting. You want to find out if there's any enemies in the vicinity, because after any gunshots happen, you will get third-partied in ranked solos. I guarantee it. Pretty much every single fight that finishes, you will be third-partied by somebody else. And it's just a lesson I got to learn. And take a look. Let's just take a look at this face right here. Yeah, I don't want to feel that anymore. So hopefully we did some learning today. Because this man is lost. Yeah, I remember this stream, and yeah, it was not pretty. My soul was shattered after this one. So that's why we're here. We're learning from our mistakes. We're going to do better next time. Main takeaways are: be patient in your fights. If your enemy gets any distance from you, you do not have to key them immediately. Second, on your drops, get some shields, get some loot before you just fight everyone on your spawn. Third, anytime I'm on nitro, I need to be a lot more gentle, a lot more careful about hitting walls, because sometimes those walls will just blow up or they'll bounce you off of them and it gets awkward. So be careful about that. Fourth, in the end game, I need to be looking more at the map. When the numbers get low, always be looking at the numbers. Always be looking at your health. Be looking at plays you can make with the surroundings. Don't be focused on the kills. It doesn't really matter. It's way more important to win the game instead of getting a lousy second place. So yeah, that's kind of a recap for myself as a little reminder. I hope this was helpful for you guys. As a trade for my embarrassment here, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button for me, you know, I'm trying to be a little vulnerable here and show you how stupid I am. Really appreciate it if you give me a like. It might make me feel a little bit better. And please consider using code TobyWantShinobi in your Fortnite item shop. Please leave a comment below. Let me know how dumb I am. Just kidding. Just leave a comment below. Let me know if you like this video, if you've made similar mistakes, maybe you have some questions about how to VOD review best. I'm happy to answer them. I read every single comment. All right, guys, have yourself a great day. Shinobi out.